you got anything more on Lonnie Walker and the ankle and how he's doing?
Yeah, I think he had a mildly sprained ankle. He'll be reevaluated tomorrow, and then we'll go from there.
You said mildly, and of course you got to wait to evaluate it. But is it?
Yeah.
Is it something?
He said he was okay. He wasn't, he was standing up and waiting in the hallway. He and Juan to greet the teammates and tell them way to compete, try to finish strong. And while he was in the hallway, and I asked him, was he okay? He said, yeah, I'll be fine. So what they're saying is it's mild, but we'll see. Like again, it could be totally different when he wakes up in the morning. So.
Got it. Darvin, you had said in San Francisco you felt pretty good about the kind of consistent play the first 4 games. Just wondered what you saw tonight.
I mean, I think tonight you saw a case of a team that couldn't make a shot. We got some really good open looks. I love to see what our QSQ was once our guys run the numbers. But I thought I was satisfied with the looks we got. We just got to make them. It's a make or miss league. And the one thing I told them at halftime was I saw certain guys and, just the vibe was kind of off because we weren't scoring. And it's going to be nights like that. I played on a team in Detroit in 04 where we had guys that could fill it up, Rip, Chauncey, Sheed, Mike James, Corliss. But, in all actuality, you're going to have more nights where you got to win it with your defense and the little plays and getting 50-50 balls and making sure you hold teams to one possession over and over and over and over again. So it was a good lesson to be learned, but I'm totally thrilled about the way they responded in the second half. We talked about some things at halftime and just maintaining our competitiveness, even though things weren't going our way offensively. And I thought guys responded. You saw our young guys, they caught the message as well and went and had really good carryover to finish the game. The game could have been a lot worse because offensively we weren't hitting and we weren't making shots. But we were getting good looks, which just makes it even more frustrating. But we turned the ball over. Wasn't our best night offensively, but again, we gave ourselves a chance just by not quitting and continuing to compete.
Yeah. Darvin, Russ has been pretty aggressive for the most part, and the lanes have been there for him tonight, though only 3 shots. What did you see from him? And is this going to be an opportunity to kind of to look at the film and see where maybe he can find ways to put his fingerprint on the game more?
Absolutely, but again, we're playing a positionalist style, and so the opportunities are not going to always come with you with the ball in your hands. In terms of Russ, there's running lanes, there's guys that are willing passers that's going to find them, and we just got to commit again to our running habits, to our spacing. He can find himself in the corner, he can find himself in the dunker, he can find himself pushing and leading the break. And I think you saw all of that when we played Phoenix in Vegas. It's something we got to work at. And again, man, it's just October. We gotta. The system just doesn't click overnight. Like guys got to get accustomed to different habits and different ways of spacing, being in different positions. That's why we practice. That's why we go over certain things and shoot around. Like we're trying to water that plant so that they can, again, as we get further along, opening up the season, 2 months in, 3 months in, 4 months in, this thing, things don't happen overnight. Especially again, you're talking about an individually talented roster in terms of not only Russ but AD, Bron. There's things, all of them need to do better in terms of, again, the running habits and things, the way we're going to space and screening angles and rolling all the way to the rim. And a lot of people are not accustomed to that in terms of playing that type of style and playing faster. So I'm not discouraged, and there's going to be that period of discovery where you just got to sit down and continue to pound out the film and continue to work on our habits in practice.
Darvin, obviously a lot of different guard combinations, guard heavy combinations. Like sometimes you had 4 guards on the floor. Was there anything that you saw that kind of sticks out to you, or is it just kind of hard to piece out right now because the shooting kind of hovered over?
Nah, you gotta go back and study the film. Because a lot of times I've been on both sides of that spectrum, like where you weren't as good as you thought you were, you weren't as bad as you thought you were. So 20 turnovers is a lot. Going 10 for 38 from the 3-point line kind of sucks. But again, only getting them 40, those guys only, shooting 14 for 39 from 3. I take that any day, all day, because I know we'll shoot the ball better. We have capable shooters, scorers, we have capable playmakers. I'm not worried. The biggest thing that bothered me just going into halftime was I just felt like we dropped our shoulders and dropped our heads, and we stopped competing. That competitive energy, that competitive spirit kind of dissipated a little bit, and we were able to get that back and close within striking distance on the T-Wolves. So I'm a little disappointed, but I'm not upset. Not being non-competitive is what makes me distraught and upset. But missing shots, yeah, he's disappointed. He got good looks, but they'll go in eventually. But the guard combos, I'll go back and dissect it and see what we see. And they all competed pretty hard tonight, in my opinion. And we got some interesting lineups that we're going to be able to throw at people. So I'm actually encouraged.
Darvin, offensively, numbers for AD were okay, 7 for 11. Obviously, defensively, how are you seeing him taking to your system? He mentioned to us last week that he hasn't been so used to playing back in rim protection, pick and roll coverage. The things that you see that we don't maybe pick up right away, how are you seeing him kind of anchor the defense so far?
Well, he's asking all the right questions, and he's trying to be as active as he possibly can. He had 2 blocks tonight, 2 steals, changed up a lot of different shots. He was great on the glass. It's 11 defensive rebounds, Bron with 10 defensive rebounds, and that's the thing you have to do. And I told him, if we don't defensive rebound, we're going to be in trouble. And we only gave up 9 offensive rebounds tonight. I think they had like maybe 4 or 5 at halftime, maybe. But I'm seeing him just commit and again communicate with the coaches, making sure he knows where he has to be. And we spent a lot of time in our pick and roll coverage in center field trying to make him comfortable. We know he can be up. We know he can switch and move his feet. But it's a lot of times where we're going to be playing small and he's going to have to be back and be a rim protector. It may be a designated player on the opposing team that he's guarding, which allows him to be the help guy every single time on defense. So I just see him, not being, stubborn about it. He's actually being open, embracing the new challenge, and trying to execute on that end of the floor.
Darvin, LeBron had 9 early points in the first, and he also had that tip in at the end of the first half. Like, what type of urgency have you seen from him this postseason? And I know you guys have talked about trying to set a tone and kind of looking at last preseason and how that kind of carried into the regular season. So I guess from LeBron specifically, what have you seen, and how do you think that can carry over into the regular season?
No, I just see him again. You mentioned it, the sense of urgency. Him also being vocal, communicating with the coaching staff, attacking drills in practice. Really slowing down, trying to get an understanding of the running habits and the spacing. Talking to the young guys, talking to the vets, and coming out and really, submerging himself into team basketball. Not forcing anything really, picking his spots, playmaking for his teammates, setting screens and rolling for his teammates, finding his teammates, and also trying to guard, being active, whether he's on the ball or off the ball. We saw him, he's attempted to chase down and block shots in transition defense. So he's been all in, man. I can't, be more proud of him up to this point where, you just see him, how he's embracing everything. And again, submerging himself into what we're trying to do and trying to figure it out along with everybody else. And again, it's togetherness. We bring it in and we put our arms in and we say togetherness. And, as a team, we all got to be together, stay together through the peaks and valleys. So I think he's been great.
BT, last question.
Before Yannick got hurt, what did you like the way he played and the attack tonight?
Well, he's a guy that can catch and shoot. He's a guy that can move around and get downhill. He's a guy that's going to try to defend the best of them. take a challenge. You know, Anthony Edwards, he's a guy that's not going to give up. There's no quitting that kid. And you saw it. Like, he just makes plays athletically through the paint, offensive rebound, putting pressure on the glass, again, making threes on the perimeter. I think he's a great welcome addition in terms of the how dynamic he is as a player, and you know, hopefully his ankle is okay, but he's going to take our competitiveness, our energy. He's going to take that up a level, and you know, playing fast and being able to switch and pick and rolls and DHOs and move each other around. You know, he's going to thrive in that system.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Yep.